Week 8 of the solo artist curriculum was also the final week of Perspective 1, and my main focus was to finish Lesson 3 of Draw a Box, which is about applying construction to plants. The exercises for this unit also include organic arrows, so I did some more of those. And also, before properly getting to plants, I worked on another cube expansion exercise from RapidViz. Although I could benefit from working with boxes longer, I was looking forward to getting into a more organic drawing, so I moved on to leaves. But went back again to work with RapidViz drawing those chairs in perspective. I wasn't very creative in my positioning of them and I just lined them up. But anyway, I ran into a problem with this exercise, which was I knew to extend cubes when they are connected to one another, but I wasn't sure how to approach the gaps between the chairs, say equally spaced chairs. So I eyeballed it by extending a chair as if it were connected to the previous one, then adding a small space before the extension and adding a little less than that initial space to the other side. It was only on my last day of this week watching Marshall Vandruff's lectures that I got the solution to this problem. It is interesting that when he was presenting the problem, I knew how he would solve it because his classes are built in a logic manner that allows you to follow the steps you have to take. But when I was confronted with the problem earlier, I did not know how to solve it. I moved on to working with branches, which are part of the draw box exercises, and then I got to flowers. I decided to work with the plants in the same way I had worked with Proko's figure drawing exercises. I would pause the video with the reference photo and attempt to draw the picture before watching the video with the drawing and the explanation. So for this daisy, I gave myself 5 minutes to draw it, and I only checked Uncomfortable's explanation and his drawing process after I had drawn my first daisy. I did this one while I was looking at the screen and trying to draw quickly and get the explanation. So this got really terrible. So I drew it again down here. I like working like this because it helps me see if I got the basic principles and can use them on my own. I drew some more leaves. This one was very stiff looking even on the reference photo, so probably not a very good choice for the exercise. Here I gave myself 2 minutes to draw the mushroom before watching Uncomfortable's video, then I copied him. It got wonky here and he also included more texture and detail, which I wasn't expecting. I wrote here a note about being mindful of the degree of the ellipses. I could have done better on my original drawing, I believe. And then I got already to day 5 and I worked on some warm-ups from previous lectures. I do not do them enough and I should really work on them regularly. As I was approaching the end of the week, I thought I should look into cylinders. The curriculum recommends the 250 boxes and the 250 cylinders challenges, but following Draw a Box, the recommendation is to work on the cylinders challenge only on or after lesson 5. So I chose Draw a Box's recommendation, but I wanted to start working on some cylinders now because they probably will be important for the next units. I watched his video, read the notes, and I have not found the checking pointers on the ellipses to be very clear, so that makes cylinders trickier than boxes. I went on and drew some cylinders to practice. It is very different to know the theory and then actually apply it to drawing. I drew then within boxes. This last box was bad and it of course impacts the cylinders result as well. I worked on some more, mostly within boxes, but also without. Again, I tried to work the checks, but I am not sure my checks are perfect either. Then I went back to plants. I looked up some mushroom references and drew a couple here. I got myself a 6B pencil to get closer to the dark contrast that you get with the fine liners, while I still continued working with pencils. Then I checked this flower video. Again, before watching him draw, I gave myself 5 minutes to draw this flower, but I ended up prolonging it because I wasn't finished in 5 minutes, and I used closer to 10 minutes for that assignment. I then followed his drawing, which was simplified but really good. I later worked on another intersection exercise from lesson 2, just to continue practicing some of the trickier exercises. Then I did this cactus. I gave myself 5 minutes and drew before watching Uncomfortable's video again, and then redrew it here following his steps. For the pitcher plant, down here, you only had a drawing video without a photo reference, so I just drew along with it. I finished my work with RapidViz working with this box in which we get the dimensions and perspective specified, so a box that would be 2.5 units tall, 2 units wide, and 3 units deep. My issue with this exercise is that it depends on the accuracy of the base cube. So I attempted a cube and then worked on the extensions, but they can only be correct as long as my base cube was correct. And this cube accuracy is what I am unsure of. To solve this problem, Marshall Vandruff suggests at the end of his lecture series that one should draw lots and lots of cubes from observation. The idea is that by drawing lots of cubes by observation, you get a good grasp of what a cube in perspective is. And then you know you are consistently drawing cubes. So this is something I need to practice more because I understood how I can divide and multiply cubes, but I am not positive my cubes are very accurate. The last thing I did was this potato plant. I gave myself 10 minutes to do it, as it was rather spread and very leafy. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to choose one part of it or try to get the whole plant. So I ended up choosing to show most of it, but to simplify it quite a bit by working on the construction, the direction of the leaves, but not to worry about texture and anything about it. I then copied Uncomfortable's potato plant, which took a long time to draw, but is without doubt considerably nicer. And I thought this was a good exercise for learning construction and plans and figuring out the amount of focus and patience you need if you want to try to figure out their construction, their direction, and be very mindful of what you're doing. This perspective unit took place in a rather busy month for me work-wise, so I would have liked to have worked more on it. And even the curriculum mentions that Drawbox is a dense course, and if needed, one should extend this part of the training and cut short the next unit, which is creative composition. I know I have more work to do with perspective, including boxes, more specifically cubes, and even cylinders. But I am personally looking forward to creative composition, and I will go on with it from next week. And I will get back to perspective when the next perspective unit comes. So this was it for perspective 1. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.